Are you ready to meditate with Cory? Lay down in a position that you would like to fall to sleep in, your favorite position. Take a nice deep breath and breathe out any energy that you have from the rest of your day. Breathe in as if you're breathing in a nice clean breath of air, and breathe out and imagine that you're letting go of anything in your head or in your body that might be hanging on from your day. The story I'm going to share with you tonight is partly true and partly made up. My story is about a boy called Jay and his turtle called Tim the turtle. When I lived in Virginia Beach a long time ago, we had a family that lived next door to us. A little boy and his dad. The little boy was called Jay. One day, his dad was riding home from work on his motorcycle. The streets were quite empty. There wasn't much traffic that day. And he saw something moving across the bridge, across the road, quite a ways in front of him. He slowed his bike down so he could take a closer look. And yes, something was definitely crawling across the road. He pulled over, got off his bike, walked over, and discovered a tiny little turtle trying to make its way across the road. Now, this road was normally a very busy road, and Jay's dad thought this little turtle may get squished by a car at any moment. It might be best if I scoop him up, put him in my pocket, and very carefully take him home. So that's what he did. When he got home, he showed Jay, who was super excited about the thoughts of having a turtle, a pet turtle. They quickly named him Tim, and they did lots of research about how to take care of a turtle, maybe what type of turtle this turtle was. They did a lot of research so that they could take care of him properly. They got a tank, and they put gravel in the base of the tank, and they got big rocks, and they used the big rocks as different platforms so that the turtle could climb out of the water and rest on the rocks. They researched what they were supposed to feed him, and that was tiny, tiny little fish that they had to get from the pet store. And they also could get dry turtle food. He was going to be the bestest pet ever. Timmy grew quite fast. And it got to the point where they were buying fish quite often. And it was very fun to watch him catch the fish and swim for the fish. They had to clean him out regularly, once a week. But as Timmy grew, he started to attack the net when they would put the net in to scoop him up and put him in his separate little container while they washed out his tank. He would attack the net as if the net was a fish. And if you tapped on his tank, he would come and snap at your finger. They very soon discovered that the turtle that Jay's dad had found was actually her snapping turtle. Now, snapping turtles can get very big, and they have quite a snap. Their jaws are very strong, and they could easily bite your finger. This wasn't a good idea to have as a pet any longer. They decided that it was sad, but Tim had to be released somehow into its natural habitat. They thought about going back to the bridge where Jay's dad found him in the first place, but it wasn't really obvious where he'd come from. There was, though, man-made ponds all around where we lived in Virginia. You would walk down the streets, and there would be a field with a pond and a water fountain in the middle. And in those ponds were fish and different turtles and different wildlife. And that seemed to be the ideal place to release Jay. Not Jay, Tim. That wouldn't be cool, would it? Putting Jay in the pond. Go live in the pond, Jay. No, we're talking about Tim. So yes, so one day they planned it because Tim had got very big, too big now for them to keep cleaning out once a week. It got a little bit dangerous and a little bit scary. So they took his tank, they took a bigger net, and they drove to the closest pond by their home, by their house. That way, they could go there when they went for the walks. They could go and visit, and maybe, you never know, maybe they would see Tim the snapping turtle once again one day. Who knows? Do you know that 2 years later, they saw Tim again in that same pond? 2 years, and they knew it was Tim because there wasn't any other snapping turtles in that pond. Only Tim. They saw him on the banking on the side of the pond. It was really cool to see Tim again and see that he was still alive, and actually that he'd grown super, super big, and he was obviously very happy and thriving in his new pond, which was so much bigger than the tank that they had him in. Looking back, it probably wasn't very nice for Tim the turtle in that tank. Looking back, now they know Tim is in a much better place. A place where he can be a turtle with lots and lots of room and lots of fish to catch and eat. So he grows bigger and bigger and bigger. After that, Tim's dad didn't get him any more turtles. They actually got a puppy. The puppy's name was Ralph. He was tiny and cute, and he barked a lot. But he didn't snap. There was no chance that Ralph would snap one of Jay's fingers off. He was a nice puppy. Okay. If you didn't close your eyes already, close them nice and tight. We're going to go on an underwater adventure. When I click my fingers and I count to 3, you're going to use your imagination. And you're going to imagine that you're Tim the turtle. 1, 2, 3. You're swimming through the pond. You're waving your little flippers, moving very easily through the water. And the water is cool and fresh and clean. You don't see very well, but you sense everything in the pond. And it's very relaxing to just swim underneath the water with the fish and the reefs and everything down there below the surface. Occasionally you come to the top of the water and blow bubbles through your nose and take a breath. And then you swim to the side and you see a rock just the right size for you to crawl onto and lay down and start to soak your shell on your neck and your head. Soaking up all of the sun rays. There's a breeze in the air and that feels nice and cool on your skin. And you close your little turtle eyes. It feels very nice to just be here in the sunshine, resting by your pond. The sun seems to make you fall to sleep very quickly. It's warm and comfortable, as if you're laying under a big, heavy blanket. You hear the birds flying and tweeting and talking to each other in the sky. You can hear the fountain in the middle of the pond with its relaxing water. You feel very happy to be living in this place. Your body relaxes even more into the rock, and you're barely awake. It's time to take a nap, a sleepy, long, relaxing nap. And then when you wake up, maybe you'll go swim for some fish and have a little snack. Maybe you'll sit close to the fountain on one of the rocks in the middle and let the fountain spray over you like a waterfall. Maybe you'll do this and maybe you'll do that. as you think, you fall even more into a